Welcome back. Welcome back. Appreciate you, Mac. You know what I'm saying? I didn't have my microphone on, so I appreciate you for letting me know there was no sound. But I got to give the guys credit, man. I just came because I'm all for giving a man his credit when it's due, and I got to give it to Gunner Stockton. He held it down. Appreciate you, Mac. He held it down. He didn't play as great as I would like him to play, but I feel like, in a sense, man, when I go back, because I always go back and watch the tape. And when I go back and watch the games, I sit back and I watch and I say, well, he didn't do bad. He could have done a whole lot better. But he does have things on the outside, of course, the O-line and things like that. And that, last weekend, I was actually critiquing him. Saturday, I was only critiquing him, but I also seen some other things. So I'm not saying that, you know what I mean? Yeah, he didn't lose us the game. Yeah. So I'm not saying that he played his best game. I don't think his best game is. I don't think he will play his best game until we probably play Alabama. 225 girl, what's happening? I was playing Boogeyman by Drake the Ruler. Calls the Dogs, and it's Tennessee Boogeyman. The fourth and the sixth was a thing of beauty. Yeah, man. Like, I just think, man, he's a good manager, man. I will say that. I still don't feel like he's quite thrown the deep ball. I know during the fourth quarter when he threw the touchdown to London Humphreys, it was only like a 28-yard. So that's good enough. You know what I mean? That's good enough. Like I said, I think this is going to be another season of dinking and dunking away, wins. And, hey, man, if that's what we're doing, that's what we're doing. I'm all for it. He went 24 for 31, I think, 23 for 31 with 3 touchdowns. I don't know why ESPN got him at 2 touchdowns for that game, but he actually threw 3 touchdowns. I think he threw 2 to Zachariah Branch and 1 to Lad McConkey. I keep wanting to say Lad McConkey, but London Humphreys. Yeah, what's up, man? C? Yeah, so dude did okay. I will give him an okay. I think that he's growing up in front of our eyes. I'll give him that. I'll give him I'll say that he's just growing up in front of our eyes rather than bash him so much, because I have. I've been criticizing him from the jump because of our first 2 games. The first 2 games was just not impressive to me at all. I was expecting to do more. And a lot of, you know what, my feelings toward Gunner Stockton, I think a lot of people that's Georgia fans that's just real biased and real, that's the ones that's behind Gunner Stockton, they may feel a certain way of how I critique him. But you got to understand, everybody knows this. All of the ESPN analysts, everybody knows this. We were supposed to do 10 times better in those first 2 weeks than what we did. So technically, nobody knew how well this guy can play, and I think we still don't know how well Gunner Stockton can play, and we only gonna know, you know what I mean, once we play Alabama and then the rest of the schedule. I think that the only team right now that we have to, I won't say worry about. I don't think I want to say we got to worry about Alabama. I think that's going to be a real good game. I think it's going to be another close game. Yeah, let's see him grow. I think it will be another close game. It's definitely going to be another physical game, so I'm going to need the defense to step up. We're going to need that secondary to definitely step up. Now, do I see a difference in Joey Aguilar and Ty Simpson? No, I don't see too much of a difference in the quarterback game. But that doesn't mean that Ty Simpson can't have success or more success than Joey did. I don't think nobody's having that much success as Joey Aguilar did, or whatever his name is. But I don't see nobody having much more success on our defense as much as he did. But at the same time, I need that secondary to step his game up. He still has some work to do, as well as the team. We still got 9 weeks to go. The DB's got to improve on covering the deep balls and front line, get pressure on the QBs. That's definitely true, 225 girl. That's definitely true. You hit it on the head with all of those points. Like, my main thing is the secondary and as well as the edge, because I'm trying to figure out who are our edge rushers. I had to call one of my partners that I talk about Georgia with all the time, at the job, and I called him up, and I'm like, man, like it's crazy because who are our edge rushers? Like, you know what I mean? They almost like obsolete out there. Like we need somebody to, come off the edge and get to the quarterback, and we haven't seen that very much. We saw Raylan Wilson, get an open field tackle on the quarterback, which was great. I loved it, but I think I want to see more. What's his name? C.J. Allen, man, he's been very quiet. We need to see a lot more from C.J. Allen. His first start, I thought he did great last year, but it seemed like now he's kind of like taking the back seat to like Raylan Wilson and the rest of the guy. I don't know why, but he need to step his game up also, or he will end up may even be losing his job if he don't step his game up. I don't know. I don't want to see him try to do that most. He's stepping on a big stage. All he has to do is execute the game plan. Defense need to step up their game against Bama. Yeah, like I said, I don't see Tyler Simpson having a better game than Joey did. I just don't see, because he's not. I don't feel like he's a better quarterback. I feel like they kind of like neck and neck. I think Joey might have a little edge on him, but they both, like I say, they both can run, they both can throw. So I don't know if they're gonna have a better, game plan for our defense. I think they will have some type of game plan because they obviously can see that our started DBs is kind of slack, right? Dalen Everett, Harris, Ellis Robinson, all three of those guys, man, they need to really step their game up. Like, I don't, hold on, let me refresh my chat, man. I don't know what's going on with my chat. I'm not seeing my chat. All right, I refreshed it. Maybe something happened. I normally can see my chat. But, yeah, those three guys, man, I need them to step up big time. Big time, man. I don't know what's going on with those guys. Why are they not, why are they chasing their receivers down? Like, what is going on here? My chat is not showing up on the screen. But I'm trying to Yo, what's up? Ransom the Don just walked in the door. How about them effing dogs? Yeah, Orange Jones. Man, the dogs, man, like the one thing I do love about them, I can't get my chat up right now. It's not showing up on the screen, but, maybe there's just some type of malfunction going on. But anyway, man, yeah, the dogs, man, is, hey, look, man, they don't quit. That's one thing I love about them. They do not quit. You know what I mean? They went for broke this game. I feel like they pulled it all out this game. I feel like everybody need to praise Mike Bobo and get on the Mike Bobo train at this point, because we see that Mike Bobo did whatever he needed to do to win this game. Now, true enough, the game was supposed to go to Tennessee. You know what I mean? It definitely was supposed to go to them, but we handled business. They missed a field goal. We went into overtime and won the game, simple and plain. You know what I mean? Our running backs won the game. I think if I give the game ball to anybody, it would be to the running backs. I couldn't give it to Gunner, even though he did throw 3 touchdowns. I still would give it to the running backs, because if it hadn't been for the running backs, man, we ain't no telling where we would have been if it hadn't been for the running backs. What is up with my chat, man? I'm not seeing it at all. Sorry, y'all. I'm so focused on my damn chat not pulling up. But, yeah, if it hadn't been for those running backs, bro, we wouldn't be where we needed to be. You know what I mean? Bobo and Gunner earn my respect for sure, no doubt. Go Dogs. Yeah, Bobo, he like I've been, calling it out for the longest. I think he don't have the best plays every single game, but, at the end of the day, I think Bobo had the perfect strategy for those Tennessee Volunteers. He had the perfect strategy, man. And that was basically just running down their throat, tire them out. You know what I mean? And it worked. It worked. You said, I'll give it to the O-line. Well, the only thing I can say about the O-line is that I think the left tackle was terrible. It was the left. No, it was the right tackle. What's his name? Uni or whatever. I forget his name. I remember putting up his highlights when he first came to Georgia. That dude got to do better, man. That right tackle, Uni. I can't remember his first name or Uni. I don't know. I don't know how to pronounce it. Anyway, number 52, I think he got to do a whole lot better. Cause I mean he's caving in quick. Like he can't. It seemed like he couldn't stop hardly nobody. They did well though. Like Drew Bobo did well. He wasn't doing no high snaps this game or nothing like that. No low snaps. You know what I mean? The left tackle and guard. Uni was getting work. Yeah. He was. And that's my main thing. If he can get a little better, we'll be straight. Because the left side was okay. They were okay. Plus Drew Bobo, you know what I mean? They were doing good. It's just that Uni guy, he got to get a lot better. But he's young, so I'm expecting everybody to make some mistakes. You know what I mean? LS said Uni got bullied. Yeah, he definitely did, man. It was sad just when you go back and watch it, and then you know what I mean? You kind of really see what's going on, and it kind of makes you feel like, yeah, you kind of start to feel like, yeah, okay, I can see where they're saying that the O-line ain't at their best, and that's what keeps, Gunner from, doing what he need to do out there in a sense, and sometimes, I have seen where Gunner leave receivers open and things like that. So I gotta spank him when he doing wrong, right? I gotta call that out. But all in all, we did great, man. Sorry about the chat, y'all. I normally had a chat on the side of the screen. I don't even know what's going on with that. But sorry about that. I don't know what the hell is going on. Yeah, man. Like I say, man, we did great. I got to give Gunner his credit, though, man. I got to, all through this video, I'm only going to go for probably about an hour. So all through this video, it's all about giving Gunner his credit for what he did in particular game. We got to give him the credit that he deserved. He did throw for, 300 and something touchdowns. Like I said, he went 23 for 31 attempts. You know what I'm saying? No, 304 yards. I'm sorry, y'all. 304 total yards in passing. He went 24 for 31 attempts. He actually threw 3 touchdowns. Like, you know what I mean? So I think Gunner, he's a good manager. I think long as he don't, turn over the ball, Gunner can be a good quarterback for Georgia. And I said this early on, in the first week or two, I spoke on this too. I think that he'll be a good quarterback. I don't know if he'll be a great quarterback for Georgia, but I still think he'll be a good quarterback down the line. Like I said before, we just watching him grow right here in front of our eyes. So sometimes it may seem a little, we seeing the mistakes, we seeing everything that comes with learning right here in front of our eyes. So I don't think I was harsh on him. I think he's hearing the noise. I think everybody's hearing the noise at Georgia, and that's why he came out swinging, versus Tennessee. He came out trying to throw the deep ball because they're hearing the noise. They know, everybody from Paul Feinbaum, everybody is speaking on that, and I'm glad they are speaking on it because that's what made us come in super aggressive, which we had to do that anyway because, hey, this is Tennessee. They always try to build a high-powered offense, but me and my guy was talking about, man, Tennessee will never beat Georgia that way. You can't beat Georgia with a high, just only a high-powered offense. You have to have a dominant defense. That's the only way. Any team that play Georgia, they defense have to be better than ours in order to beat us because we're gonna always find a way to win. You know what I'm saying? Because our team is based off of a strong and violent and aggressive defense. So we always gonna find a way to win. They say defenses win games, right? So we got a defensive-minded head coach, so we're going to always find ways to win ball games. And Tennessee is never going to beat Georgia unless they get a stronger defense. I don't care how up-tempo, fast-tempo you go, you still not going to beat Georgia unless you get a defense. You got to have a better defense. Glad we didn't get the Manning fella. Gunner got hard. Yeah. Like, I think Manning can get better too. He, in a sense, I feel like he's kind of like on Gunner's level. Like he's learning. You know what I mean? Can he get better? I'm sure he can. I really don't. It really don't matter to me because he's not a Georgia quarterback. But at the end of the day, I think that he needs to do better. I think the expectation for him was set so high, and I feel bad for guys like that. Because they supposed to be the front runners of what they call it. Damn, my mind just went blank. The Heisman front runners and things like that. They talked about highly all off season, and then they come into the games and they don't produce the what So my thing is, I feel bad for him in a sense. I feel bad that he had all that hype around him. And same thing as Nico, that when he was at Tennessee. Now he over there at UCLA, and he ain't doing nothing over there. Ain't nothing going on over there. So I feel bad for these guys when they come in with all the hype. So, at the end of the day, that's why when we're not number one in the AP poll, when we don't have like a 5-star quarterback, a lot of times I don't be tripping, because I know the expectations going to be set so high, and when they don't meet them expectations, then everybody going to dog them out. And that's exactly what's happening to Manning, so Arch Manning. So my thing is, I'm glad that Gunner is learning. I'm glad that Gunner is getting pressure put on him, because I don't think that Kirby Smart them not pressuring him to be better. I think that they are pressuring him to be better. You know what I'm saying? Do I still feel like if Ryan Puglisi got in, he would probably do the same, be is just as good? Yeah, I still feel that way. I still feel like if Ryan Puglisi was to start right now, he will probably be just as good. I don't know about managing, you know what I mean, just as good. I don't know about if he would be making bonehead play. I don't know, but as far as being as good as throwing and stuff like that, I think he still would be. I think they both on the same level. But as far as decision making, I just don't know about Ryan Puglisi. That interception that he threw during the first half, the end of the first half. That I mean, I don't count that. I really don't count that, because they just needed him to throw the deep ball. And at the end of the day, they still say that Gunner can throw the deep ball, but I don't understand why they decided to put Ryan Puglisi in at the end of the second quarter, just to throw Hail Mary. I don't get that. My only mind is the only thing that I could think of is that Gunner don't have a deep ball. He can't throw the deep ball. But like I said, Gunner can throw deep enough. You know what I mean? I don't see him throwing a real deep ball. You said hell nah, Gunner has a way better arm. I don't know. I don't know yet. I have to see more from Ryan Puglisi. I'm not gonna say that. I did feel like Ryan Puglisi do have a better arm. I do feel like that. I can't take this one game and just be like, oh yeah, because he threw like 2 deep balls. You know what I'm saying? Even though they was like mid-range, in my opinion, 28 yards, that's like, that's light work. You know what I mean? So, and the one he threw to Kobe Young, that wasn't that much deep, but at the same time, I just feel like he can get better. He will get better. As long as he at Georgia, he will get better. Long as he get us through these games, I don't care if we dink and dunk. I done seen us dinking and dunking. Well, we did that. We did that the 23 season also, and we still had a winning schedule. We still, we was 10-2, so we still did pretty good. But we was dinking and dunking through the whole season that season, due to us not having a not the 23 season, 24 last year. So I done seen us dink and dunk our way and have some success at it. You know what I'm saying? So if that's what we got to do, that's what we got to do. Hey, it's all about taking what the defense give you anyway. So even though he don't throw a deep ball downfield, hey, like I said, it's all about taking what the defense give you. So I'm not expecting him to just be slinging it around all crazy. I don't think he can do that anyway, especially if those tackles is not going to perform well. He it's not giving him enough time to do it. Mo Money Dog, what's up, boy? I ain't seen you in a minute. Mo Money Dog, because that's how Carson got hurt in the SEC game. Because that's how Carson, what you mean by that? That's how Carson got hurt in the SEC championship game. Anyway, yeah, I just feel like, man, no better than Manning. Oh, you saying that Gunner got a better arm than Manning? I ain't been paying attention to Manning like that. I haven't even really watched Texas outside of the first game of the season. I ain't really watched Texas yet, like outside of the week 1. So I can't say. If you say, I'll take your word for it though, Ransom. If you say that he is better. Hold on, y'all, just a second. I'm finna see what the hell is going on. Control audio. Will Noah get more involved in the game plan as the season go along? If not, I could see him bouncing either from season or after season. Yeah, man, I hope so, man. I hope Noah Thomas, get in there. It just looked like, I mean, it's basically what we was hearing all off season, that Zachariah Branch was that standout guy. So we're basically seeing what I guess they were seeing in the off season. You know what I mean? Oh, you talking about the Hail Mary? That's why they put Puglisi in instead of gonna throwing it. Okay, I mean, if that's the case, then cool. If that's the case, but I wouldn't want to hurt my backup. You know what I mean? I wouldn't want to hurt my backup either, even though he's my backup, but we'll still have a starter. But I don't know. But yeah, I expected more from Noah Thomas. Like I always say, he was the leading receiver over there with the Aggies, so I was expecting to see a whole lot from him, and how tall he is. You know what I mean? We rarely get real tall receivers, so I was expecting a lot of 1-on-1s. But then again, you got to think though, with Gunnar Stockton not being able to play his best games. And on top of that, he got the O-line that he got to worry about. Maybe he can't really get to him, or maybe, just maybe, Noah Thomas ain't really getting open like that. You know what I mean? It could be a list of things on why he's not showing up in these games. But we need to see more, though. We definitely need to see more because, I mean, we didn't get him out of the transfer portal for nothing. So hopefully, later on in the season, we get to see a whole lot more from him. I was expecting a whole lot more, honestly, because, I mean, the man been in the SEC. So it's not like he just coming over to the SEC like Zachariah Branch did. He's been in the SEC. He's been playing with, SEC opponents. So I expected a whole lot more from him, and hopefully we do get to see more out of him this season. Ransom the Don said Ellis got that work, but he needed it if he going to get better. He's young. Yeah. Like, he was getting tore up out there, man. Robinson was getting burnt left and right out there. You know what I mean? Terrible. Like, he doesn't look like a 5-star in my eyes, to be honest. He don't look like a 5-star, but he got to learn too. That's what we got to stop doing. We got to stop like going so hard on these young ones, because a lot of the young ones, they got to learn, man. Especially when you playing high level, SEC football, you're going to have to learn, because we didn't see none of this coming from Austin Peay nor Marshall. If y'all notice, we didn't see nobody getting burnt in the secondary. They ain't really had no, I mean, the quarterbacks didn't even have no chance to get it down to none of their receivers. But I knew with this game it would show what this. And I spoke on it. That's why I'll be saying I spoke on that before we even played Tennessee. I spoke on the fact that it's going to show what this secondary is about, because they weren't tested, and it showed. Like, they were getting exposed a little bit. Even I think his name is Daniel Harris and Dalen Everett. They were all getting exposed in my eyes. You know what I mean? Luckily for us, our defense, our front seven stayed 10 toes down, because even they need to get more pressure on the quarterback, that front seven. You know what I mean? So I think all in all, man, it's going to take time for us to get right. This is this is a reloading type of season. You know what I mean? So we actually reloading, because, we don't rebuild. We actually reload. So it's like, that's what we're doing now. We reloading that quarterback position. The running backs, to me, are doing awesome. I don't care if they don't, it ain't a 100-yard game or nothing like that. I don't care nothing about that. I don't care if none of the running backs don't get over 100 yards or none of that. Them boys doing the damn job. That's all I know. They doing their damn job, and that's all I care about. I don't care about if they get over 100 yards a game or, none of that shit. None of that shit matters to me. It's all about doing your job. It's all about staying ahead of the sticks with me. I don't care about a breakout season like Todd Gurley and like Sony Michel and Nick Chubb and DeAndre Swift and all of those guys. They don't have to be like those guys, but at the same time, they are getting the job done. I see Chauncey Barnes out there doing his thing. I see Nate Frazier out there doing his thing. Dwight Phillips, he was trying, but this is the SEC, and I knew that this would happen as soon as he run into a SEC opponent. Whenever they tried to run him up the middle, he got either hit behind the sticks or he got stuffed right there at the line of scrimmage. So at the end of the day, I've been trying to tell people over and over. Now, he did have one good run up the middle. He had one good run up the middle. Speaking of Dwight Phillips, outside of that, he was getting stuffed every time he go up the middle, and that's why they using him more so on the outside because he's more of a speedy back. He's not he's not really. I don't want to say he's not physical, but he's not that type of downhill runner like Nate Frazier and Chauncey Bowens is. Or even Josh, what's his name, McCray. I could see him coming in and doing some great things with Georgia. You know what I mean? So my thing is I'm not trying to discredit Dwight Phillips. I'm not trying to say that he's not a good running back. We definitely can see flashes in him being a great quarterback for Georgia. But until he get that size on him, until he's able to, until he's able to truck somebody, until he's able to get into, because every time in this game, like I said, every time he went through the middle, he got stuffed every single time. I think they ran him up the middle maybe, 2 or 3 times. And every time he didn't gain no yards like that. But as soon as like I said, only one time he did. I think that was like in the second half, like in the third or fourth quarter, they ran him up through the middle and he got probably 7-8 yards going up through the middle. Outside of that, you have to run that man on the outside. I'll take any day. I'll take Nate Frazier, Chauncey Bowens, and Josh McCray up through the middle any day. You know what I mean? Like I say, a lot of people tried to sleep on Nate Frazier just because what they was able to see Dwight Phillips do in the first 2 weeks. But week 3 has proven that you going to have to run him on the outside versus the inside. Now, some games we will do it. So the better he get. What you saying, 225? If Ellis didn't miss time and slipped, he could have broken up the pass. He stayed with him if not for the mishap. And Ella's first full season, so he's going to make – yeah. I'm expecting that. Speed running back are good, but they are more finesse and tend to get hurt because they can't absorb hits like power. Yeah. That's all I'm saying. Like, you got to be able to, truck somebody. You got to be able to absorb tackles. I don't see that in Dwight Phillips as much. I think that he can eventually, but to keep him from being hurt, let's run him more so on the outside. You know what I'm saying? He's not even – I don't even think he – weighs as much as a Nate Frazier or Chauncey Bourne. Them boys weigh like 200 and some pounds. So it's like, and I'm sure that Dwight Phillips weigh at least 200 pounds. But I just, from what I'm watching, I can clearly see what they doing with Dwight Phillips, and that's why he's been so explosive because he's been coming from the outside. And that's and like I said, the first 2 games of the season, I peeped that, I caught it, but then I said, you know what? When we play Tennessee, I want to see what he do, and you see what happened. You know what I mean? He didn't do as great as he did against Marshall and Austin Peay. You know what I mean? He was supposed to look good against Marshall and Austin Peay, but I think, like I say, people get so hyped when they see how explosive he is, and that's good. That's good that we all getting hyped to get behind Dwight Phillips. You know what I'm saying? It's good, but at the same time, like I say, you got the SEC. That's totally different from the rest of these conferences. Y'all already know that. So whenever you run into a Tennessee, whenever you run into an Alabama, you're going to need the more physical backs to go up through the middle. But all in all, I just want to say that all the backs did great. They looked great. They did their job. I don't need them to run for 100 yards every single game or nothing like that. I don't need them to be another DeAndre Swift. I don't need them to be a Nick Chubb. I don't need them to be a Todd Gurley. But they are being themselves, and they're making a name for themselves right there at UGA. So I shout out to them, commend them for doing their thing, because if it wasn't for them, I don't believe that we would have won the game. To be real with you, if it wasn't for the run game, I don't believe we would have won the game. And obviously shout out to Zachariah Branch. I think that the running backs, and I said that also before the season started and week 1, I think. I spoke on that too. The fact that the running backs was going to have to help Gunnar Stockton out with him having his first start at Georgia, first start of the seat for a full season. I knew that the running backs was going to have to play an intricate part, and that's what they're doing. They established it. You know what I mean? The first 2 weeks, it looked pretty decent. And it looked awesome to me against Tennessee, because Tennessee has a better defense than those other 2 teams. So it still looked pretty good, and I think it will look good versus Alabama as well. I think Alabama is going to have a tough time with us on offense, especially if Gunnar Stockton can be consistent. You know what I mean? If he can be consistent, if that O-line can hold up for him, I believe, because that's 9 times out of 10, that's what most teams are going to do. They're going to look at the fact that, okay, they kind of lack they tackles kind of lacking a little bit. You know what I mean? Even what's his name? Is it Ernest Green? Even Ernest Green lack. You know what I mean? So at the same time, I think a lot of teams are gonna look at that and hone in on that and say that's what we need to do. We need to attack those tackles and get to Gunner Stockton. But that's where Gunner Stockton need to start flushing out a little more, rolling out a little more. And you don't always got to try to make a play downfield, because I saw plays where he rolled out and he could have just ran, but he tried to make a play downfield and it was an incompletion. So I would like to see more of his legs when it come to that, because if you know your tackles ain't really hitting on too much or nothing, you better learn how to use them feet. And we know he know how to use them, but you're going to have to use them a little more from time to time. Says Zach, he really does everybody that fire, passion, energy. He slows it every play he makes. Yeah. I like Zachariah Branch. I think he's one of my favorites on the offense. Him and Nate Frazier. Chauncey Bourne is coming up in there. Yeah. And I can see Josh McCray too. I could see something in him too also. You know, I don't want to leave Dwight Phillips out, but me personally, I got to see Dwight Phillips do something against some SEC teams, and then I'll be like, okay, yeah, this guy different. You know what I mean? Where the heck Bell been at? That's what Max said. Where the heck Bell been at? Man, listen, man, Bell been in there, but Bell just is. I don't know. I was talking to my guy, man, on the phone after the game, and I was like, man, it looked like every time Bell get a touch, every time he touched the ball, he just seemed like he's coming off of an injury or something. He seems slow, you know what I'm saying? He doesn't seem like he don't have a sense of urgency. I don't know what's going on with Bell, man. I hope he gets better, man. I was really expecting to see a whole lot from him, as well as other people, man. We wanted to see Bell do a lot of great things at Georgia. You know, I kind of feel like he lost himself last season due to how bad they were last season. I kind of feel like he lost himself. I thought that he would bring himself back with this wide receiver room, because of the talent that we have in the wide receiver room. But I don't know, man. I'm not sure what's going on with Dylan Bell, but Dylan Bell need to do something, man, because you know, you if you don't do anything, you're not gonna get drafted. And if you do, you're gonna be on some type of practice squad or something like that. So I hate to see him end up selling insurance, you know what I mean? But like I say, a job is a job. I don't mean to talk about Jake Fromm like that, but I just seen that recently, so I always throw that out there. But yeah, I just hope that he gets better. I hope that whatever he's going through, you know, he kind of overcomes it, whatever it is, because that was my guy, man. He was like my favorite. Like, you know, even though Aaron Smith was the top receiver last season, I still like Dylan Bell. I felt like Dylan Bell was physical. I feel like you can use him anywhere and everywhere. But now when they try to use him, he don't hardly get no damn yards after the carry. Like, so it's just like, you know, I don't know, man. I don't know. You know, I mean, Kirby don't hardly talk. They don't hardly talk about him, so it ain't much information or intel that we can get about him. But I hopefully, whatever he going through, you know, he can kind of push through it and start to do better. But I would love to see more from him. Also, who else I want to talk about, man? Who else did good things out there? I'd like to see more from London Humphreys. I'd like to see more from him. Who else? Who else? Is somebody else out there that I would like to see more from? The defense as a whole. I think for me, they just need to be a little more consistent as a whole. They just need to be a little more consistent. You know what I'm saying? I'll be fine. It'll be fine. I'll be fine with the defense if they can be a little more consistent, if they can get to the quarterback a little more, you know what I mean, a shutout type of defense. I'll be perfectly fine with this defense, but I think for the most part, we're going to have to put a lot of energy in trying to fix what's happening with that secondary. I think that's the main thing, especially coming into – well, that's not going to be the main thing because obviously we got to make sure that our offense is doing well too, because we got two or three things that we need to tweak on the offense also. So the offense and defense going to have to do some real tweaking versus Alabama, because even though Alabama is not playing they're not playing the best that they have been playing previous years, they are still Alabama. So we got to be careful with them dudes. You know what I mean? I hope he can bounce back. Yeah, I do too, man. 225 girl said I want to see more from the tight end. Oh yeah, the tight ends, man. Oscar Depp, Lawson Lucky. Yeah, man. I can't believe that we went from having the best tight end in college football to us not even speaking on the tight ends. Like, that is crazy. That's how you know that Brock Bowers was a unicorn, because we're not even talking about these tight ends. Like, not at all. I thought that Lawson Lucky was gonna take Oscar Depp's job. I ain't even gonna lie. I thought that he was gonna take his job. I thought that he was gonna be way better than Oscar Depp. But hey, man, I don't know, man. I don't know what's going on. I don't know if the plays aren't designed for the tight ends. I don't know what's going on. I don't know if they're not getting open. So with us watching it on TV and us not being able to see the whole field and see what's going on, I know for the most part we are seeing the tight ends doing a lot of blocking. I know I do see that, as well as a lot of the receivers. A lot of snaps, they focusing more so on that run game, and that's what I think. Like I said early on in the season, they're focusing on that, in my opinion, because of Gunnar Stockton. He needs help. You know what I mean? It's well, like, because we know that the left tackles, or whatever, is it? Yeah, we know that it's the right tackle, because that's where Uni is, right? He's on the right side. So I figure they think that, okay, or they know that, okay, he's not as great. Him or Ernest Green, they're not as great. So it's like, okay, we gotta focus on the run. We gotta make sure that our run game is good, because if we can't do much in the pass game, and I think they saw that in the offseason. I think they saw that through practice, that, okay, we ain't too explosive. Now, I know they try to say that Gunner's been explosive in the fall scrimmages and all of that, but I don't think he was that explosive, because it's not showing up on game day. So I believe that they already knew that. So what they're trying to do is establish that run game so that the running backs can help them out. And that's exactly what they're doing. Obviously, as far as what I see, that's exactly what they're doing. Dinking and dunking is going to be the way this season. Unless he just get 10 times. Unless this game here just give him a boost. And I saw some energy in him. I saw character in Gunner a little bit. You know what I mean? And that's what I like to see, man. I like to see because with Carson really didn't have his character was kind of bland. So he didn't have a lot of emotion. So sometimes I feel like the quarterbacks that don't have a lot of emotion, that be the quarterback. I don't know. I like a quarterback with emotion to show that drive and show that this is my team. Like, and Gunnar Stockton hadn't necessarily showed it yet, but I do see in certain clips, certain replays and stuff, his facial expressions and stuff like that, I do see a little bit more of a character, because that cool church boy look that he got going on, that's cool, but I need you to be a dog. You know what I mean? And I think he can be a dog. Like I say, he's growing up. He's just growing up. So that's a good thing, though. Like that, and I had to come back and give him his credit, because I have criticized him a whole lot. And, I don't apologize for it, but at the same time, I got to give him credit when credit is due. When he's doing good, I'm going to, give him credit for that. But when he's doing bad, if he do bad, against Alabama, I'm going to come back and I'm going to talk about how bad he did versus Alabama. That's just what it is. I don't feel I'm wrong, or nobody out there that's wrong for critiquing a quarterback. It is what it is. This is football. This is what we do. I'm not just finna be a fan that's just gonna sit back and no matter what he do, I'ma rock with him. Nah, if he not doing good, I'ma speak on it. Carson has some emotion. Unfortunately, he just showing it with Miami. Yeah, well, he said Miami made him feel him feel, well, how you put it? I always forget how you put it. He said they made him realize how fun football is, or something like that. When he said that, I was like, wow. They brought back the fun in football, or something like that. I was like, wow. So it is somewhat of a problem over there at Georgia if he left and said the same. And Justin Fields also said the same, something similar. He just was like, I made the best choice of he said I made the best choice by leaving them, or something like that. So, I think that there is a slight problem when it comes to that quarterback position, especially for Carson to leave and say that. Like, even with what I was saying, Justin Fields said, that wasn't even that bad. Like, that was just his decision to say he wanted to leave. I get it, because he they had somebody that was not better than him starting over him. So I get that. But what Carson said threw me off. I'm like, well, damn, like, you wasn't having fun at Georgia? Like, that's crazy. I would have thought that he was. They hide it so much, so good. So I would have thought that he was actually having fun. But he said being at Miami brought the fun back to him. And that was surprising that he did say that. That was very surprising. But at the same time, the man is from Florida. You know what I mean? So, go where your heart is. And your girl was over there. I heard, did she get kicked out or something like that? Or some shit I heard about she ain't even at Miami no more. Tight end play is a layup. The only thing wrong with the pass game is the pass protection. Even Bobo is limited by yeah. That's real. That's real. That's what I'm trying to say in a bunch of words. The pass protection is just not there. The uni guy and Ernest Green, they're not doing their job. And Ernest Green been with the program for a while. I don't know what's going on with him. But yeah, they just not doing their job, man. I think they could do a whole lot better. I hate that my chat is not showing up. I don't know what's going on with that. It's just crazy. Y'all refresh browser scene, becomes active. I don't know. Anyway, yeah, what you said, 225 girl? Oh yeah, that's what he said on some of that Dog fans. Some of the Dog fans didn't like. I just think not everyone has the mindset to play at Georgia. Honestly, Georgia and Miami are just two different programs. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I'm not just gonna take Carson Beck's side and say, oh well, they doing something terrible over there. But for him to say that was surprising to me. It was very surprising to see that he said that he didn't start having fun again until he started playing for Miami. You know what I mean? That was mind blowing because I'm thinking in my head like, I don't know. I just didn't think that it was that serious. I didn't think that quarterbacks at Georgia felt that type of way. And obviously they're gonna hide it. Obviously, especially when they winning, they're not gonna show it as much. But I think it has something to do with more than just I think I don't know. I don't know. I'm gonna be honest with you. I really don't know what it is. I ain't even gonna speculate because I don't know what it is. Green is hurt. He got bad back problems. They need to just let him fully heal. Yeah, Gunner can let the rock go when he get a little cushion. Yeah, listen. I think Gunner can be, like I say, I'm gonna keep saying it. I think Gunner is gonna be a good quarterback for Georgia. Do I think he'll be great? I won't say that, but I do think that he'll be a good quarterback. I think that he'll keep us in games at times. Later down the line in the season, I think he will. I think this game here still for me it's not enough to say that how great he will be. But you got to understand this game here. Like I said, I got to get a game ball to the running backs. I got to give the game ball to the running backs on how tough they were throughout this game because let's see. I know we ran the ball a million times this game. I don't want to slow the video down, but I can't really see how many times. I got to put it in. Hold on. Yeah, I don't know do anybody know how many times Georgia ran the ball? Does anybody know how many times Georgia ran the ball versus Tennessee? Because that's what they've been focusing on, and they also focusing on it against Tennessee. They wanted to see if they can run on Tennessee, and they did good. Like I said, that's who I'm giving the game ball to. I believe it was over 50 times. Yeah, like they had to have ran that thing at least 40 times. We low key got something with Josh McCray. He going crazy. Yeah. Josh McCray gonna be right up in there with Nate Frazier and Chauncey Barnes. I can see it. Yeah, but we had to have ran that ball damn near 50 times. That's why I got to give it to the running backs. Um, yes, what's his name? Gunner. He had 3 touchdowns. He threw for 3 touchdowns. But I gotta give that game ball to the running backs, man. They did great. They did what they were supposed to do. I didn't see them losing yardage. You know what I mean? I didn't see a lot of negative plays coming from the running backs. I know I seen some coming from Dylan Bell, and I think did we see one from Zachariah Branch? I think we did see a negative play from Zachariah Branch. They tried to run him out the backfield. You know what I mean? But outside of that, I seen no real negative, or not a lot of negative plays coming from the running back. So that was great. You know what I mean? I think they did great. I think they did wonderful, and I'm ready to see it against Alabama. We got to put these boys to sleep, man, because like I said, these boys are not good as they used to be, and we got to take advantage of that. And if, like I said, if Gunner can be consistent, if we can get these guys to block, you know what I mean, for Gunner, then yeah, hopefully we can see more from Gunner. Because I understand now. No, I could have been wrong early on when I said I didn't care about the O-line. I didn't care, but now that I'm going back watching these two SEC Titans play each other, well, we the only Titan in the SEC, but we see these two good SEC teams play each other, one great and one not. You know what I mean? I got to see the O-line is kind of, uni and like Ernest Green, like they say he's hurt and stuff like that. So I just think that if we did have a better O-line, I think that he could produce a lot more. Would he be great? I don't know. I have to see that, but I think he could produce a whole lot more had we had a better O-line. The defense, like I said, they got to get better against Alabama. Alabama don't really have no run game, in my opinion. When I think who did I watch them play? I forget who did I see Alabama play, because Alabama played it was the first. Who was I watching them? Because I think I went live for that one. Let me see. I think I went live for that. Oh, Wisconsin. And I was like, damn, they really ain't got too much of a run game. So if that's the case, we know they got a weakness. You know what I'm saying? We know what their weakness is, and it's definitely running out. Now, I only watched the first half, so I don't know what they did in the second half. But for one, it didn't look too good in the first half. And two, Wisconsin ain't got no defense. So running up against us is going to be definitely hard to do. You know what I mean? I was so happy when we got Zachariah Branch. He was elite at USC and is going to be a dog at Georgia. Yeah, he's already shown that he's a dog. He's showing that. You know what I mean? We ain't got to even worry about him. We just got to see more from these other guys. We got to see more from even Kobe Young. I like to see more from Kobe Young. I like to see more 50-50 balls get thrown to Kobe Young, because I think he could definitely go up there and get it. Like we talked about earlier, 225 spoke about Noah Thomas. Like, I would love to see more from that guy. So if we can get all of those guys to get those touches that they need, man, we're going to be like, everybody already calling us dangerous, because they know Georgia dangerous, bro. Everybody knows that once Georgia get the ball rolling, it ain't no stopping it. It ain't no stopping it. You seen what Kangaroo Black said, man. Them motherfuckers ain't laying down. Hell no. Them boys is not laying down, man. Them boys is not stopping. They not letting up. I like the drive. Kirby he puts that drive in them boys. That's why I don't mind a coach that's as hard on his team as Kirby Smart is. You know what I mean? Because that's why I always pick on Carolina coach Shane Beamer. He clap when they do bad. He clap when they do good. Nah. I need you to smack these guys upside the head when they not doing good. And Kirby Smart is one of them type of coaches that's going to get in their ass. That's what I love about him. You know what I'm saying? And that's why they have the drive to keep pushing even when they facing adversity. You know what I mean? Even when we down. We did that last season when we was damn near down every single game, but came back and won them. Shit, Carson Beck threw 3 interceptions each week and still won the games. So, dog, whatever formula we got over here, you know what I mean, with at UGA, bro, this is the formula that we need to keep. Culture, whatever you want to call it. Whatever formula we got, we need to keep it right here at UGA, bro. Real talk. Dogs always play their best when it's a fight or they back against the wall. Yeah. What you say? Cujo said, I'm not saying Gunner is one, but I was looking at the stats today, and it's similar or better than some of those guys in Heisman race. Again, I'm not saying he's one. I mean, it is what it is, man. I don't care about the Heisman stuff. I just want to see the man do better. I don't care about the Heisman. You know what I mean? Like, we just got a decent game out the man. You know, I would say this was his best game out of the last two games. This was his, because it was against a tougher opponent. So yeah, I don't even want to speak about Heisman because he only had one good game in my eyes. I mean, obviously the first, week he bullied Marshall, but that's Marshall. I don't count that. I mean, everything counts, obviously. There's no preseason. Every game counts, but me personally, I don't count Marshall. I don't count I count fucking Tennessee, and he looked well against Tennessee, so that was the better game in my eyes. But Heisman, I'm gonna leave that one alone. I'm not even gonna speak on that one. If he ball out against Bama, there will be some conversation. Yeah, but he got to ball out. I think he got to not only ball out against Bama, he got to ball out against Auburn. You know what I mean? He gonna have to ball out against Ole Miss. You know what I mean? He gonna have to ball out against everybody, in my opinion. Then I'll be willing to say, yeah, like that he needs to be in that conversation. But until then, we gotta see more consistency. That's the main thing. We gotta see consistency. And that's the problem sometimes that we do have. I mean, we had that problem last season, and it was only because of the receivers. But this season now, we have an issue with the O-lineman, and we also have an issue with the quarterback not seeming to have a lot of confidence in himself. But, I think the pressure we put on him as the fan base, I think that helps. Because they not only watch ESPN, they watch YouTube. Come on, man. These are young guys. These guys are on social media. I don't care what nobody say. They can say, oh, I don't be in my phone like that. They'll be a lie. They are on social media. They live through social media. You know what I mean? These jokers was 9, 10 years old with Facebook on their phones in the classroom. These boys are on social media, so they hearing all of the talk. I just don't want them to take the wrong way if they hearing my talk. I'm not trying to bash you like that. I'm just trying to make you better. In my eyes, that's what I'm doing. That's how I was raised. You know what I mean? You criticize and to make a person better. You know what I mean? This is football. This is a contact sport. This is aggressive game, an aggressive sport. I'm not gonna be like, oh, okay, well, yeah, he did okay. No, if he didn't do good, I'm calling him out on it. It is what it is. It is what it is. I'm calling him out. Yeah, I'm so concerned on why my chat is not showing. I'm gonna have to, once the live end, I'm gonna have to refresh my chat and try to redo it again and see what it does. You seen Brooks' film study on the O-line? RT was looking real suspect. Right tackle was looking real suspect. Yeah. I talked about him. I didn't see Brooks' film. I like Brooke, but like I told y'all before, I'm kind of trying to stay away from other people's content. And I'm only doing that because I feel like, well, with Brooks give you the real breakdown. So Brooks know what he's talking about. But I still try to shy away from people's content. I feel like this season we would definitely, like, I've been feeling it every season that content creators don't be having the best takes on Georgia. So that's why I didn't watch Brooks. But I still, whenever I come across him and it looks interesting when he talk about Georgia, I'll sit and watch. Some of his videos be a little long, but I'll sit and watch every blue moon. I used to watch him a lot, but now that I feel that way about the content creators, like I feel like a lot of time they just be putting out content just to put out content, and they be like, man, what are we talking about the same thing again? You know what I mean? So that's why I kind of cut back, because I feel like it was just a repetitive thing to keep saying the same type of things and just trying to speak Georgia into and speak our wins into existence. And it's like I don't. But anyway, shout out to everybody that do Georgia content. Everybody, because I know y'all watch them, and I don't want to be talking bad about somebody that y'all watch. So shout out to everybody that cover the Georgia Bulldogs. You know what I mean? I wish it was more cool people like myself, you know what I'm saying, that wear their hat tilted to the back when they going live. I wish it was more people like me that did content, you know what I mean? It'd be a whole lot better, a whole lot like, realer, and we ain't got to be so quirky and like I say, no disrespect to nobody, but, it is what it is. But at the end of the day, yeah, man, our right tackles got to get better. At the end of the day, what I saw, I didn't need to watch Brooks to see it. I actually saw it on my own, and I'm like, wow, like this is what's actually happened. So, I got to give credit to not Carson, but Gunner. I got to give credit to him because, he sees this firsthand. You know what I mean? He sees it firsthand. So, a lot of times if plays don't go right, it is due to, our line. So it's like at the end of the day, you got to give him credit for, the run, him being able to roll out and try to make plays downfield. Sometimes it works, sometimes it don't. I just want to see more from him when it comes to that, him rolling out, either making plays downfield or either tucking it and running. KB hate him some dogs. No, I don't think KB hate KB. I don't think he hate the dogs. I think what it is KB know, and KB know we got their number every single season. KB know, for a decade we've been a dominant team, even though they have beaten us with us being dominant. But I don't think KB want anybody on that level. I think KB want to continue to have that Alabama dynasty, as he should. He's an Alabama fan. Everybody want that dynasty. You know what I'm saying? But with the fact, I think KB feel like, because both of us match up too well. Georgia and Alabama match up just too well, and he knows every time we play them, it's a chance that they could lose. Now, they don't have Jalen Milroe, so there's a big chance that we will. If you think about it, Jalen Milroe is the only reason why they've won the last 2 years. Jalen Milroe, he's the only reason, because it was so hard for us to, control him. It was too hard. So, you know what I mean? I think he's the only reason. But now that he's gone, I think we'll have a bigger chance, especially if Gunner get in there and be consistent. The video I watched showed a lot of missed blocks, assignments, running backs not reading blocks, Gunner stepping back too far in the pocket. Oh, wow. Wow. I mean, and those are just common mistakes, though. I don't really trip off that. But, yeah, that's why I say Brooks do be having good breakdowns. He do have good breakdowns. I just find myself kind of like not really watching guys too often nowadays. Like I said, it's mainly due to I just felt like it was, I don't know, I just feel like almost like we had been lied to from a lot of these channels. So I just kind of cut back a little bit. They gave me a stroke and 2 heart attacks Saturday. Yeah. You know what? I ain't see you in the live either, Shabazz. I don't know where you was at. You know what I'm saying? I expected them to lose that game, so I didn't feel, too bad when we were down. I did expect us to lose. I'm not even gonna lie to y'all. I expected us to lose, but we were supposed to at the end of the day, because if he would have kicked the field goal, we'd have lost. You know what I mean? But at the end of the day, we showed a whole lot of heart and guts. So with Georgia showing me that, I don't think I can doubt them as much as I did coming into this game, because I doubted them coming into this game. But now that we saw how, they got heart, they got drive, you know what I mean? Now I'm convinced now. You got something, you've done something now for me to be bought in, right? And that's why this video is titled, you know what I mean? I got to give him credit, because now I'm bought into the fact that Gunner Stockton can hold his own. Gunner Stockton can actually throw downfield a little bit. So now that I'm bought in, I can kind of ride that wave now. But in the beginning, if I don't see nothing, there's nothing that I can go on. You know what I mean? But now that we actually getting to see it, I can say, okay, yeah, he probably will be a decent quarterback for this team. You know what I mean? If Bama can't run the ball, they will lose. They haven't had a run game all season. That's the first thing that I noticed against Wisconsin. I was like, whoa, these boys can't run the ball. I'm like, well, you're going to have to be able to run on Georgia. And it's already hard enough trying to run on Georgia. Now, will they run on Georgia? I believe they will, because Georgia seemed to, for whatever reason, seem to we this season we be kind of a little slack on the run. You know what I mean? But at the on the run with stopping the run. I'm sorry, but this season we're gonna have to buckle down on that because that's the only reason why we weren't able to beat them the last 2 seasons was because of the run game. Regardless if it was from the running back or Jalen Milroe. That's the whole purpose on why we was losing the 2 seasons. Outside of that, we would have won both those games, But that's why I say, man, we got to tighten up because it seemed like every single season we almost have the full package. We almost at 100% every single season. Now, me personally, coming into this season, I automatically felt like 26 would be better than this season because I knew that this would be the reloading season. 26 should be I'm loaded, lock, cock, and I'm ready to rock. That should be the next year. That should be 26 season. We lock, cock, and we ready to rock. This season was more so, well, I got to load up a little bit. I got to load up. We got to load up. So I think that 26 will be the season where we'll be playing for a natty. I think we'll be playing for a natty or I know I ain't gonna lie, I also said that I don't see this team being an SEC championship team. But after Saturday, I feel like we may have a chance. There's no other threats like that outside of Bama. There will be no other threats. We've gotten past Tennessee. Hopefully we'll get past Alabama. Some people say we got to get past Ole Miss. We got to go through Ole Miss. I don't believe so. Georgia Tech. That's another team that we got to be on the lookout for. We definitely got to be on the lookout for those guys too. They look pretty decent. We don't play Notre Dame, obviously. Not Notre Dame, but Vanderbilt. Nashville is hyped about Vanderbilt. I'm not really hyped about Vanderbilt until, we run into them. We need to get past Kentucky. They always play us hard. Yeah, Kentucky always do. But Kentucky, they ain't looking too hot either. They not looking too hot, but they always play us tough. Just like when we usually play South Carolina. South Carolina be looking terrible, but as soon as we play them, we normally towards mid game we normally break out and end up blowing them out half the time. But they always play us tough as well. Ole Miss doesn't have a secondary. Okay, that's cool, but we got to get our O-line to hold it down so that Gunner can try to expose him because he was supposed to expose Tennessee's secondary, but he didn't do it. You know what I mean? He was supposed to expose them, but that didn't happen. So, yeah, they don't have a secondary, but we got to remember what our team is able to do and all of the things that we need to fix, before we start talking about other teams secondary, because we, like I say, I still got to see more. So don't get it twisted. Even though I'm saying that I got to give him his credit, but I got to give him his credit for that in particular game. Every week is a new critique for me. Every single week is a new critique for me. So even though I'm giving him his credit for playing as well as he did against Tennessee, I still got to see what he's gonna do against Bama. I still got to see what he's gonna do against Auburn, Kentucky, the Ole Miss, you know what I mean? So, and I will be going live for the Auburn and Oklahoma game. I will be live for that. So y'all make sure y'all tune in for that too. You know what I mean? Come and kick it with your boy. You know what I mean? We just going to be chilling. It ain't going to be no pressure because we don't play. So, we just going to be kicking back, and sitting back watching our competition and see what our competition come with, That's really the only reason I'm watching. I was going to watch the Carolina. I was gonna go live for the Carolina and the Missouri game, but I felt like, what's the point? We don't play neither one of those guys, so it's pointless for me to watch those two guys. And then I was thinking about, but it's up to y'all, man. Do y'all wanna what games are y'all watching this weekend? What games are y'all watching this weekend? I know I'm watching Auburn and Oklahoma, but what games are you guys watching this weekend? Because, it depends. It depends on how I'm feeling, honestly. But, I can go live for another game if everything is cool. Didn't Carolina lose? Yeah, Carolina lose. They lost to Vanderbilt. I don't know why I keep wanting to say Notre Dame. Jackson Arnold, he hasn't looked all impressive to me. all that impressive to me. Yeah. So what games are y'all watching this weekend, man? Because I'm trying to decide if I want to go live for another game. It may have to. It may be an early game, but it's just no telling because you never know what you're doing. So for that day, uh, what game? What game we watching? Said nothing if the dog not playing. I'm going to Carowinds. Oh, you going to Carowinds? Oh, okay. Yeah. I gotta watch some. I gotta watch these games because I ain't going to Carowinds. I'm gonna be at the crib, so I gotta watch at least. And I wanna see our competition. I wanna see how well Auburn does. I think that Oklahoma gonna take it, but who knows? Any given Saturday, anybody can win. But I think that's what I'm gonna do. I think I'm gonna go live for the Oklahoma game. Florida needs to get rid of that coach. Yeah, Florida definitely need to get rid of him. It seemed like he don't do nothing but lose. Yeah, yeah, Billy. Yeah, he don't do nothing but lose. So they definitely got to get rid of him, and they will, and they will, and it'll be soon too. It'll be soon. They gonna get rid of his ass soon. I mean, I thought that they were getting good recruits. It doesn't really matter. I'll be at home watching or jump in a live somewhere. Yeah, 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 yeah. I think I might just go with the Ole Miss. I mean the Oklahoma and Auburn. I already got it posted. So, I already got it posted up. So yeah, I think I'm gonna go with that game. I was gonna watch what was I gonna watch? It's another game at 12:45. I can't remember though. It's another game at 12:45. I cannot remember what game that is at 12:45. But whatever that game was it who was it? Damn, I can't remember. I can't remember, y'all. It's another game at 12:45 on Saturday, right? Damn, I can't. I can't. I don't even see it. Yeah, it was another game at 12:45, and okay, yeah, here we go. Here we go. Oh, Tennessee and UAB, but I was like, well, hell, we already don't beat Tennessee. What's the point of me watching them? Excuse me, y'all, for the loud ass coughing. Um, I heard you say you from Tipton last stream. Shout out to the 229, man. I'm from Valdosta. Oh, okay, that what's up. Valdille. Okay. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I'm from Tilton, man, but I've been out of Tilton since 2015. You know what I'm saying? I had to get out the 229. Shout out to the 229, man, but 229 was too small for my blood. I had to get up out of there. Bro, I was yelling so hard Saturday that my dog and wife went to the dog park. Yeah, man. Hey, I'm so glad though. I'm so proud. I'm so proud of myself, bro, because I be so mad in these games to where I gotta take like a Excedrin. That's how caught up I get in these games, bro. But I was already expecting us to lose that game, so I wasn't too mad when I saw that we was down, But what got me more so into it was when I saw that okay, these boys got some fight in them. We didn't know that because we didn't play anybody yet. But when I saw that, that's what got me more engaged because I'm like, okay, I do see fight in these dogs. So once I see fight in them, I'm with you. So when I saw that, I was like, okay, yeah, we may have something. Even if we would have lost that game, I still would have been feeling even right now, I still have been feeling like, okay, we may still have something. Yeah, so we don't play South Carolina nor Missouri this season. The other game I was gonna watch, it wasn't at 12:45. It was the 7:30 game. Florida and Miami. But I was like, man, 7:30 kind of late, and you know what I'm saying? Like I'm like, I don't know if I want to sit up through that game. I was thinking about maybe watching the first half, but it just depends on y'all. You know what I mean? I do this for y'all, so if y'all want to watch the Miami Florida game, you know what I mean, together, we can do that too. Like I can stay up for that. Just get my brews together, get my liquor together, we'll be good. KB got us ranked number one in his top five. Yeah, I saw KB earlier talking about it. Mike Bobo, a part-time OC for the Falcons. Mike, hold on, Mike Boo Boo, a part time OC for the Falcons. Why you say that? Yeah, them Falcons, man, they so damn. They not consistent, man. I can't stand a team that's not consistent, bro. If Miami blows Florida out early, I'm checking out early. That's how I feel. I just want to check out the first half. So maybe we can do that. Maybe we can check out the first half, and if Miami, because I don't see Florida doing nothing I don't see Florida blowing Miami out. So if Miami start to blow Florida out, then you know, you say, man, all the runs and screens they do, but Falcons defense looks nasty. Yeah. What's up? Sincere? You just walked in, man. I got Florida by 13 over Miami. For real? Shabazz, now you just said something that I don't think nobody believes. Damn, you trying to be the black sheep? I don't think nobody seeing that right there. I got Florida by 13 over Miami. I don't see that happening. I just don't. I don't see that happening. It could though. It could. Maybe you see something that I ain't seen. But yeah. Yeah, man. The Falcons, the defense looks good. Yeah, I saw that. I said that from the beginning of the season that the defense do look good, but I don't know, man. They just so wishy washy. Them Falcons. They so I'm still a Falcon man. I'm still a Falcon man. Believe it or not, even though my son be throwing my cover all over I'm still I'm still a Falcon and I'm still a dog at the same time. So shout out to the Falcons, shout out to the dogs. I'm gonna rock with the Falcons, win or lose. So the same way for the dogs. Yeah, but anyway, man. Say my Bengals 2-0. Yeah, I see a lot of Bengal D riders out there lately. Falcons run pistol all game, every game. Right. Right. Yeah, shout out. Hey, you know what, man? Shout out to everybody in the live, man. I appreciate y'all for being in my live, man, kicking it with me, rocking with me. But y'all got to rock with me Saturday now. Y'all got to rock with me Saturday because we will be watching at 3:30. We will be watching the Auburn versus Oklahoma game. And we may watch at 7:30. I may come back at 7:30 and watch that first half of the Miami and Florida game because I do want to see Carson Beck. I ain't seen him in a minute, so I do want to see the guy. I was a big time supporter when he was at Georgia, so I definitely want to see him. Brutalize Florida because Florida ain't looking too good. Sincere said, 225 girl said, looking at Miami's schedule, the only team that might give them trouble is Florida State and maybe SMU. Yeah, Florida State. I know for a fact Florida State gonna give Miami a problem. I know because with that quarterback, yeah, they definitely gonna give him a problem. How do you feel about the Alabama game? A lot of people saying we got Alabama. My only thing that we need to work on is our DBs. Yeah, I think we got Alabama, but I don't think that nothing that Tyler Simpson can do. I don't see him being much better than Joey Aguilar. I don't see him being much better. So I don't see them doing much more than what Tennessee did, especially with the fact that Tennessee was able to do it to us. They was able to expose that. So we're going to hone in on that. That's going to be something that we're going to work on the most as far as the defense is our DBs. I don't think that Tyler Simpson is any much more better than Joey Aguilar. Joey Aguilar looks good. Tyler Simpson looks good also. Ty Simpson, whatever you want to call him. You know what I'm saying? Ty Simpson has to have a Heisman performance to beat us. Yeah, it's going to take everything for everybody to beat us, man. They're going to have to pour it all out to beat us. That's why people are so scared of Georgia, because we are so deadly. Even when we're down, they saw it last season. Even when we're down, bro, even when we playing from behind, we going to catch up and get to that ass. Ryan Williams has been subpar this year. Yeah. Cause Bernard, what's his name? Bernard. He been taking over as far as their receiving core. You know what I mean? He's taking over. So I don't know. Ryan Williams, he too busy painting his fingernails and stuff like that. He's a good player, but it is what it is. Everybody got to take the back seat at some point. Some people, Bama O-line is awful too. I don't know. I don't know about their O-line. I haven't really focused in on their O-line as much, but I know that I don't think that Ty Simpson, I don't feel like he's much better than Joey Aguilar. It's nothing about him that I feel like, but man, like he might, you know what I mean? Gunner has Heisman performance the way Gunner have that dog in him and didn't let Tennessee fans in his head. Yeah. Like I say, man, I think all in all, I think we did great. You know what I mean? I think we did pretty good. No, I'll say pretty good. I ain't gonna say great. I think we did pretty good. Especially with the fact that, we just didn't give up. When we could have easily given up. We could have easily given up when we saw this man picking away the defense. When we saw Joey Aguilar picking away the defense in the first half. You know what I mean? How much? What was it? 21 in the first half? So I thought the game was gone. I didn't think the game was gone based on the 21 in the first half. I didn't think that we were going to get blew out. I just thought that we were gonna lose because I felt like Tennessee did everything right, but they still lost. I would love for the fans to storm Sanford Stadium if we beat Bama, but that's not Georgia way. Nah. We don't need to storm the stadium. We don't need to do that. That's leave that for those subpar teams. 21 in the first quarter. Yeah, I called Kirby and he said, "How about them dogs?" And he hung up. Shit, I don't think Kirby want to talk to nobody right now. Y'all seen him after the game? Kirby barely wanted to talk to the chick that was trying to interview him. I think Kirby was heated. Kirby was not happy with that performance, and Kirby and I think if you're a soft-hearted player, you don't want to play for Georgia because games like this, Kirby is not really happy. He's happy that we won, but he's not happy with the performance as a whole. And you could see that when the lady was trying to interview him. You know what I mean? You could clearly see that he was not happy. He got off. He left real quick. He ended the interview real quick and gave it to Gunner. So I knew off top. I said, "Oh yeah, he's not very happy with this team and how they played." But I can see the fight in this team. I definitely can see that. And if we get through Bama, I don't see no more losses on the schedule unless we just fall off track real hard. What he said, storming the stadium corny. Yeah, I think that is, Cujo. I really do. I really think that is very corny. You know what I'm saying? To me, that's leave that to Tennessee, Vanderbilt. Who else be storming the stadium? Tennessee, Vanderbilt, teams like I don't even think South Carolina do it like that. I don't know. I don't know if South Carolina. I don't know if they ever done it. Georgia Tech, yeah. Leave that to them. You know what I'm saying? Georgia, we ain't got time to be storming no field. We got work to do. We ain't got time for that. Yeah, Kirby wasn't happy with the team performance, and he was hearing a lot of negative naysayers too. Yeah, I mean, I don't think it's negative though. I really don't think it's negative. Like, how are you? My thing is because I think a lot of people thought that I was being negative towards Gunner Stockton also. My only thing to it is I don't think that it's negative. I think criticizing could be a good thing because it can make you better. I mean, he does it to them. Why we can't do it to him? He do it to him on the field. I mean, at practice, he do it to him all the time. You know what I mean? But why is it a problem when we do it? Now if other people doing it, then I don't want to hear it. But if the fan base is doing it, I don't have a problem with it because we're only going based on what we see on film or at the game day. We're only going based on that. So at the end of the day, if he's not playing great against cakewalk teams, how was we supposed to feel about him? That's all I say. Let me read some of the comments. Do you think Gunner will come back next year? If so, why? Because I want Puglisi to play next season. I think Gunner will come back next year. The only reason why I think he will come back because I don't think he's gonna be, a Heisman runner-up. I don't know, man. I don't know if he's gonna. I don't know. I don't know. I'm gonna be honest with y'all. I don't know if he's gonna come back. Well, I don't know if he'll leave, but I believe he'll come back. But because he got to ball out. If he balls out this season, yeah, he ain't coming back. Did you see Tennessee fan, the dude that was like, son of a, I lost $500. Nah, I didn't see that, but I saw the black dude like this. I saw the black dude like this. And he stood like that. It wasn't even the slow-mo. He was still like, I was like, damn, bro, like what did you must have lost some money in the bet. Ole Miss backup quarterback played well. Okay. I think Pug gone next year. For real? You think Pug gone? Well, after this year. You said after this year you think Puglisi gone? Well, yeah, if Gunner stays, yeah. Mm. That's something to think about. Yeah, that's something to think about. Yeah, because I mean, at the end of the day, if Gunner comes back for another year, and then Jared comes in, he's gonna want to start eventually. So he'll. I mean, I don't know though. I don't know. You said if Gunner stays, Puglisi is gone because they got Montgomery coming in. What Montgomery got to do with Puglisi? Tay, what's up? What's up with you? Man, I'm late, but I do think Florida got the potential to upset Miami. Why you think Shabazz? You said because they got Montgomery coming in. What Montgomery got to do with Puglisi? Because I don't is Montgomery better than Puglisi? 225 girl, because Pug is a sophomore this season, and if Gunner comes back, yeah, that's true. That's true. Yeah. So yeah, y'all might be right with this one here. Yeah, yeah. You said Montgomery got a better arm. If Gunner stays, I think the quarterback room would be nasty. We got a 5-star Jerry Curtis coming in. Yeah, we got a 5-star coming in, man. But you know, we won't see him until what 20. We won't see him until 27. We won't see him until 27. I doubt we see him next season. Cause you got Gunner, you got Puglisi, and if everybody talking about him leaving, if he leaves, then you got Ryan Montgomery, and Kirby not gonna start. He's not gonna start Jared over Montgomery right out the gate. I highly doubt that. Remember JT left, Stetson came back, and Brock Vandegrift left. Yeah, when Carson came back. So depending on what Gunner does, if he run it back, Puglisi is definitely gone. Yeah, that's true. That's true. Well, if he does, man, hopefully he have success wherever he goes. I would have loved to have seen him, play at the University of Georgia. But if he does go, hey, it is what it is. On to the next. Move on. Let's go. Turn the page. You know what I mean? But it is what it is, man. Like I say, man, I appreciate all y'all, man, for jumping off in this live. Tay said I could see Puglisi leaving, but I don't think Ryan Montgomery beating out Curtis in 27. I'm gonna have to go back and look at some of Jared Curtis, because Jared Curtis he is out there going hard. What he threw for like 5 or 6 touchdowns, the last game they played. So Jared Curtis has been going hard, but I'm gonna have to go check him out. Yeah, man. I'm gonna have to check Jared Curtis out a little more. I see that y'all got one thing for sure, the black quarterback gone. Yeah. I mean, his name is not even being brought up at all. I did see him in fall scrimmage. It's sad. It's sad because he didn't even get a shot. He don't even get a shot at all. A shot in the dark. Like, I don't even think they even looking at him at all. And that's Hezekiah Millender. I don't think nobody's even paying attention to him. I don't know what it is, man. Hopefully it's not the narrative that's been pushed all over Georgia, because that is the narrative. Who is the black quarterback? Is he on the roster? Yeah. His Zeke Millender, man. Go on my page and check him out. I got the highlights down there. Hezekiah Millender looks good to me. He looks decent. I don't see why he's not being talked about, but maybe he's not as good. We'll just say that. It's sad too because he's from Athens and wants to be there. Yeah, it's very sad because he left Boise State and to go to Georgia. So he could have possibly, obviously he's not gonna get a shot, but he could have possibly stayed at Boise State. He could have stayed committed to Boise State, but he wanted to play for Georgia. But like I said, he hasn't even been talked about at all, and that's the sad part about it. I love to see a black quarterback start for us. Yeah, facts. I think we all would like to see a black quarterback at some point because, black quarterbacks got a way more swag to them, and this ain't a black or white thing. I'm just being honest. We got a little more swag to us when we out there at the quarterback position. So that's just all. Boy, we haven't had a black quarterback since that dude. We ain't had a black quarterback since, I think, Dwan Mathis. Because Tay, I think, Pug. Oh, you talking to Tay? Yeah. We ain't had a black quarterback since Dwan Mathis, man. Yeah, I don't know, man. They just not talking about it. Yeah, DJ Shockley, yep, Quincy Carter, yep. No shade, but I think a black quarterback would change the program. Me personally, bro, I think so too. I think that having a black quarterback will put a lot. It's like adding more sauce. Like you would add a lot more sauce with a black quarterback back there. Now, I'm not saying, to be honest, bro, it's not a black or white thing. Like, let's get that out the way. It's not a black or white thing. It's mostly that, we haven't seen a black quarterback play for us, but we've seen black quarterbacks ball out on every other team. You know what I mean? We've seen them do it, time and time again. So it's like, why aren't we? You know what I mean? We like one of the only programs that refuse to start a black quarterback. It's weird, man, but I don't want to believe that it's because they're black. But, man, like I say, man, Hendon Hooker, I did not know he was from, not Hendon Hooker, but Hezekiah Millender, I did not know he was from Athens, man. Had I known he was from Athens, I would have been speaking on that, but I didn't know he was from Athens at all. And the fact that they not even talking about that dude, I mean, nobody's even covering him except for me. Nobody's covered him except for me. Like, that's why people did, like, Shabazz didn't even know we had a black quarter. Yeah, nobody's covered him. The man came in. He was a 3-star. He not a 4 or 5-star. He's a 3-star. But at the same time, why didn't nobody cover him at all? All of these Georgia platforms, all of these Georgia coverage teams, and actual teams with multiple people covering the Dogs on their channel, and nobody thought to speaking of Hezekiah Millender. That, like I said in one of my other lives, they may have said one or two things about him, but outside of that, I ain't heard nothing. Outside of that, I haven't heard nothing about Hezekiah Millender. Nothing. I mean, he's a 3-star. He's not, Ryan Montgomery, Puglisi, both of them are just 4 stars. You know what I mean? So, I don't know, bro. And if you look at all 3 of their highlights, nobody looks better than the other one, really. Nobody looks better than the other one. If you look at all 3 of those guys' highlights, Puglisi, even Gunner, Puglisi, and Ryan Montgomery, and Hezekiah Millender, I feel like all of them, to me, on the same type of page. Now, it's got to translate to SEC football, of course. But I'm just saying, like, for nobody to have covered him at all, really, that's crazy work. That's crazy work. He would never get a chance at Georgia, in my opinion. Yeah, I don't see him having a chance because, like I said, for one, he's not being spoken about. I mean, even when they talk about the roster, I still don't hear nobody even uttered his name. like I said, I think I probably heard about no. So Dean Leggy channel over there, the Dog Post, they spoke about him. Not Dean Leggy, but one of them other little dudes. They spoke about him like way before the season started. I think they when he flipped from Boise State to Georgia. That's the only time. Outside of that, they never really covered him. They just spoke on the fact that he did flip from Boise State to Georgia. But all the QBs barely come to Georgia because of our play style. Yeah, yeah. And not only our play style. I think quarterbacks, good quarterbacks, period, not just black quarterbacks, good 5-star quarterbacks, period, don't come to Georgia because look where all of the Georgia quarterbacks end up when they go to the league or when they try to go to the league. Well, look where they end up at. So our team and as well as Alabama, we're known for um, the defense. We're known for defensive players, running backs. You know what I'm saying? We're not known for quarterbacks like that. Well, Alabama is when it comes to college, but once they get to the NFL level, you don't see no Alabama quarterbacks out there that's having except for Jalen Hurts, except for Jalen Hurts, except for Jalen Hurts. But outside of that, I think Georgia and Alabama is mostly known for their running backs, their defense, their receivers. I don't think they are known for well, at least Georgia is not known for putting quarterbacks in the league. So therefore, a lot of quarterbacks don't come. That's why you see most of the 4 and 5 stars are on our defense side of the ball because they know that most of the time the people that's going to be put in the league is the guys on the defense side of the ball. So at the end of the day, I just feel as if, with us, we gonna have to start putting the right quarterbacks in position and start shining at that quarterback position. I think that's a lot of times that's what these kids look at. You got to think these are 18, 19-year-old kids. So they're looking at who's developing the best at that quarterback position. Georgia hasn't shown that they time and time and time year and year after year, season after season after season. They haven't shown that they can develop quarterbacks. Until we show that we can develop quarterback time after time again, then we'll get those guys to want to come over more and more often, just like it was on the defense. As soon as they start I would say like after the Roquan Smith era, after the Roquan Smith season, every defensive player wanted to come to Georgia. Every 5-star wanted to come to Georgia at some point. You know what I mean? Every last one of them wanted to be at Georgia. And that's when we became popular. That Roquan Smith's era, after that era, we just became popular as hell. Yeah, Jalen Carter always a beast. But yeah, I just think that we got to develop better at the quarterback position, and then we'll start seeing more high level, guys come in. We lucked up with Jared. We lucked up with Jared Curtis. We lucked up with him. This is the first 5-star since Justin Fields, I think. You know what I mean? This is the first 5-star we had since Justin Fields, and we didn't keep Justin Fields. So what we're gonna have to do is we're gonna have to start this guy. So we probably won't see Hazika Millender, obviously, because we're gonna have to start him. You know, we're gonna have to start him. We got to start him, and he's got to perform at a high level. So, at the end of the day, man, I've been going for an hour and about 30-something minutes, man. So, man, like I always say, man, I always appreciate y'all for coming off in the live, kicking it with me, rocking with me. You know what I'm saying? I've been going for a minute. It's after 7:30, But like I say, man, what you said, Tay? Hopefully Curtis and Taylor be a nice 5-star duo for CJ Waller. Yeah. Hopefully we'll see that. But yeah, man. Like I said, man, I appreciate everybody for jumping off in this thing, man. Tay, Cujo, 225 girl, Shabazz Ali, Main C came in for a bit. You know what I'm saying? Sincere Harper, goddamn, Ransom the Don came in for a bit, man. I appreciate y'all, man, for rocking with me, man. You know what I mean? Stay tuned for this weekend, bro. Like I say, I'm gonna go live for the Oklahoma and Auburn game. You know what I mean? And then I'm going to try to go live for the Miami and Florida game. Well, at least the first half of the Miami and Florida game. Yeah, just rock out with me, man. Stay tuned for more from the Doghouse.